Hello, NEDAC friends. This is William at Occupy the NEDAC, the NEDAC revolution. This is we're going to be talking about the most revolutionary legislation that's ever been introduced into Congress. It's a legislation that recovers our right to be the ones that create money and to take it away from the bankers who have gotten our right to create money. Hamilton and Washington gave it to them right away in 1787. Jefferson and Hamilton were given the opportunity to present their monetary plans to President Washington. Well, they did. And Washington adopted Hamilton's plan. Hamilton presented a plan that was typewritten in several pages. Jefferson was handwritten in one page. Of course, that wasn't why Washington could take it, because Washington saw an opportunity to become the richest man in the new country, the United States of America, which he did. The Constitution gives the power to create money to Congress. Article 1, Section 8, Paragraph 5. It gives Congress the power to coin money. And coin, in this case, doesn't mean coins as a noun. It means coin as being the power to create. So that's what Hamilton got Washington to give him and his friends the power to create money. Wouldn't that be good, to have the power to create money? Well, that's what every banker has. Not the lowly ones, but the guys that own the bank, the ones down on Main Street, in the shopping centers where you live. I know in Oklahoma we have all kinds of state-owned banks. There's state-chartered banks here in the state, and they all have the power to create money. When you go in to get a loan for a car or a house, say you want that $40,000 car that you saw down on the used car lot, you walk into your banker and say, "Hey man, I really need some money. I see this car I want, and how about it?" And he says, "Well, let me look at your credit." And "Okay, Mr. Smith, you've got good credit. Let me draw up some papers here, and we'll sign them and get you a contract, and we'll get that $40,000 for you. Just take me a minute or two." So he gets on his computer and does this, and gets the papers drawn up. They sign them, and then okay. Okay, hi there, Pablo. Are you seeing me, Pablo? Can you hear me? Moderator, can you hear me, and can you see me? Because I'm not getting a picture over in my other frame. Okay, well, anyway. So, I see you and hear you loud and clear. Good. Thank you. Very well. Now I know that I'm broadcasting. So, anyway, the banker's got all the papers there signed, and he turns around to his computer again and goes, he created that money that $40,000 right then. No reserve requirement, no extra thing, no nothing like they teach you in Economics 101 with that 10% reserve requirement, and then it just goes up and up and up. And, because not only did the banker create the money for the loan, he created the reserve right then too, because that money is in that account, and when Mr. Smith spends it to buy a car, it goes right into another bank's account. So the reserve is put into the system all the time, and that's how money is created. All money. The only money that's not created that way is the 3% that are the coins that are in our pocket. The government actually stamps the coins and sells them to the bank, and gets the money for those coins. That isn't the way it is for the notes, the paper money, because it doesn't cost anything to print that stuff, so, but the coins are 3% of our money supply, and 97% of it are loans, and it can be a loan to the individual, or a loan to the federal government, or a loan to the city government, or the county government. Those bonds are all sold, they're all bought by the, looks like I lost you. Did I lose you? I don't know. It says I'm still live. Okay, I'm just going to continue. I got a signal that I lost you. And but it says great signals, still live, 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So I must still be here. Okay, now turn my camera back on. Okay, let's turn my camera this way. And let's see. Did I get it? Now, did it get my camera back on? Well, I don't know how to turn the camera back on without. Right window creates a camera icon. I got that. Okay. And let's see what I've got here. Hi there. There we go. I think I'm on. Looks like everything came back. All set. Good. Okay. So there's 21 special dealer banks that are the special dealer banks of the Federal Reserve System, and their obligation is to buy all of the debt of the United States. So that's what they do, and when they buy the debt, when the Treasury issues a bond and they buy it, they create the money to buy it. They don't have the money in some vault somewhere or some bars of gold or anything like that. They create the money. It's all in the double entry accounting system that only banks have. So what we're going to do is make that all unnecessary with the NEAT Act, We're going to nationalize the Federal Reserve and put the Federal Reserve in the Treasury where we think it is now. It's not any part of the government. The commercial banks, the member banks of the Federal Reserve, own the Federal Reserve System. And J.P. Morgan Chase owns almost 49% of the 50% of the Federal Reserve System. So what we're going to do, the NEDAC's going to create new dollars. They're not going to be notes like it says right now. They're not going to be, it's not going to say on them Federal Reserve note. It's going to be a United States dollar. And we're going to buy the stock of the Federal Reserve System from the commercial banks. It's not going to cost us anything because we're going to create that money out of thin air. We just buy it. We make an entry and we give them the new dollars and say goodbye to them. Go be honest businessmen. Be like everybody else in this country or in this world. All of us businessmen had to buy or make the products that we sold, right? The banks don't have to do that. They create it like that. So, good. We're all set. Okay. So, I like it that, Pablo, that you're monitoring my broadcast and that you can communicate with me and tell me what's going on. So I have started a new ability here. I need to get it going. If anybody listening to this wants to call me, there's a telephone number up and above there. It's called 494-1187. That is my Skype phone number, and it'll come in on my other computer, this one right here. See? 1 9 Shit. This is what happens to you when you get to be 78 years old. Can't remember your fucking password. Let's see. Well, damn. I put that in my, it's a password to two of my computers, and anyway, I have a phone number. We're not going to be able to use it in this broadcast, Mark. Going to have to forget it. And I'll have to look in my address book here and get my password to my computer. Yeah, I got the computer all set up. I have a Skype phone that I can make unlimited calls on it, and of course I can receive calls. And I have that phone number in the description of this broadcast. So anyway, we can we'll do that next time. Yeah, that's really. I can empathize with Biden being almost a corpse and stumbling in his speech and things. So I do that quite often. So, but that's okay, because I've got some knowledge here that we all need to know about the creation of money. And the way that it's done now badly affects all of us. And the way we can do it with the NEAT Act will greatly help all of us and make our lives much happier without the stress that we have now. So we're going to create money. Congress will create money and spend it into the economy for the things we need, like health care, like housing, like transportation. We could have free transportation. We get automated cars. We can call them up on our computers just like that, and have a car show up at our door. It'll know. We will have told it where we want to go, how many of us that there's going to be, how long we're going to be there, and it'll all be set up so that we get to where we're wanting to go. Car waits on us, takes us home, or takes us to the next place that we want to go. And that could be, I'm in Norman, Oklahoma, that could be Walmart up on 12th Street, or it could be Tulsa, Oklahoma, or anywhere in Oklahoma City. Be able to go to, and that could be free, and we could go to all the political and cultural events that we want to go to, so we can take part in our communities and our state and our nation's laws and government. And so the NEAT Act does three things. Nationalizes Federal Reserve. That's number one. It ends fractional reserve banking, which is the power of the bank to create money. Two. And three, spends money into the economy for the things that we want. And that money will stay in the economy. It doesn't come back out. Like a loan, whenever the loan is paid down, that money comes back out of the economy. Yeah, comes back out of the economy. So, now, what gives the banks so much power is that we've got to go to them for the money that we need and everything that we need. And now we're not going to have to go to them. We're going to be able to sit on Congress, make sure that Congress does what we want and spends money for what we want. And one of the things that we're going to have with the NEAT Act, this is for all you young guys, okay? Young guys, young ladies have been treated badly, yeah. So have the boys. So have you boys been treated badly. Who the fuck is killed in most of the wars that we've been in? They've been boys. Okay, we can change that around where they're not going to be able to send us to fucking war, because we're going to run Congress, and Congress is the one that has the power to declare wars. We're going to have $40,000 a year in guaranteed annual income. We're going to have free housing. We're going to have free transportation. And we're going to have free education in schools that we control, not the banks. Yeah, the banks control all the schools. Remember this, whoever controls the power to create money controls a nation. And part of that nation is the schools. You're not going to find any of this in any of the textbooks, and you're not going to find an economics teacher that's going to teach this. But Sam, you ask where. What do you mean where? Tell me what you mean. Okay. And, oh, okay. So, looks like I might have lost my pitch here again. I wonder why. Because I've got an excellent connection. So, yeah, any economics teacher that tried to teach this at the university, he's going to find himself working on the ground crew outside in the garden. He's not going to be up in front of a bunch of students telling them any of this. I was lucky. I did have one teacher that got close. He didn't quite get all the way, but he got close. And then there was, wonder, let's flip my camera back around here and see if I can get anything. There's our backyard, if you can see it. I've got a good signal. So, okay, Sam, can you see me? Did I lose my audio, video? Hey, Sam, talk to me. Tell me what you got. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm back. So, lose track of where I'm at. The money that's created in the NEED Act is an asset. It's equity. It's not debt. All money now is debt. All money. And there are monetary movements around that aren't monetary. They say money always has to be debt. It does not have to be debt. If you understand accounting, you know on the right side of the bank's balance sheet is their capital, what they've invested in the bank, and their loans, that they've issued. Now, on the side, that side of the bank will be money that's in the bank, their reserves, and their capital that they put into the bank. So, we're going to change how banks operate. And yeah, and the reason they have so much power is we have to go to them for everything that we need. We had to go to them for the alley that's right out here. Let's just look at it. There we go. We had to go to them for that alley. There was a bond sold to pay for that. That car right there, the manufacturer that made it had to borrow money to prepare his manufacturing. The landlord had to borrow money to remodel that building right there. That was I live in the building right behind me. This building was built in 1927 as a fraternity house, and that building right there was where the house mother lived up above. It didn't have that fancy window on it then. And down below was the work shed that had where all the equipment to take care of the property was. And so the landlord here that bought this property had to borrow money from the bank. The bank is in on every deal, okay? Whether it's just for making the product or whatever, the bank is in on it. We're gonna make it unnecessary. We can have free housing, free medical care, free education, free transportation. So, okay, young guys, you'd like to have a better life, you'd like to live and not be drug off to war or made to have to go into the military because that's the only way you can make a living. Yeah, we can fix that, but you're gonna have to do it. But we're gonna be able to make it fun because we can make Washington D.C. just like New Orleans was back in the 20s, dancing and fucking and drinking and then going to Congress in the morning and sitting on the Congress representatives and telling them what we want and when we want it and how much we want. And then if you're one of the guys that doesn't want to go to Washington, D.C., you can be in your own community doing that. And drinking and fucking and having a good time. And hi there from Santo Domingo. So, Lucia, how you doing? So, I'm talking about the most revolutionary, Lucia, the most revolutionary legislation that's ever been introduced into Congress. It's called the NEAT Act. It's H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress by former Congressman Dennis Kucinich, a very brave man. He's now out of Congress because the Republicans gerrymandered him out. He introduced this legislation and they got rid of him. But Dennis has always been a survivor. He started out as a 26-year-old fighting the banks in Cleveland, Ohio. The banks wanted to repossess the electric power system that the city of Cleveland owned, and he told them to fuck off, and won. 26 years old against the banks of Cleveland. He's always been, and he's honestly for the poor. He doesn't just talk the talk, he's walked the walk. And I've met him and his wife. In fact, his wife, Elizabeth, is a person that came over here from England to get the NEAT Act enacted, to write the legislation. And she didn't know Dennis Kucinich. And Stephen Zarlinga, the author and founder of the American Monetary Institute, she and Stephen went to Congress to meet with Dennis. And Stephen is he's the author of the Lost Science of Money. And if you want a copy of it, I'll give you a link. In fact, I'll do that in the comments on this later, to the Lost Science of Money. I've made a PDF copy of it. You can buy it off of the American Monetary Institute. It's about $70, and And people that really get interested in this do get a hard copy. Uh, something to have. It's the most comprehensive history of money that's ever been written. And so, anyway, lost my train of thought. So you're listening to and watching a 78-year-old, and I'm like Biden. God damn it! When we get old, man, our brains don't work like they used to for the kind of things that speaking and thinking of things right off the top of our heads. We get jammed up. But what I'm telling you about the NEAT Act, I know that shit. And so there's a whole group of us that have been involved in the writing of the legislation. Okay. Oh, yeah. Elizabeth and Stephen went to Dennis's office. Elizabeth is a drop-dead, beautiful young lady. And Dennis said, before that meeting ended, we had exchanged phone numbers. Stephen didn't know that. Elizabeth is now Mrs. Dennis Kucinich. And I think they live in Cleveland and maybe have a home in California. I don't know, but look up Dennis Kucinich, former congressman from Cleveland, Ohio. And H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress. There's a government website that's got the whole bill, the whole legislation on it. This has all been vetted. It's ready to go, as long as when we make it happen. So, young guys, you boys, you're going to have a chance to make your lives good. I know a young man stopped to talk to me the other night and asked him where he went to high school, and he said, Conroe, Texas, Harding High School, said it was hell. And that's what high school is. It's fucking hell. And so this NEAT Act's going to enable you to quit high school, get $40,000 a year, paid for an apartment, paid transportation. We got to get that in the original legislation, so that the day after that legislation passes, you can be in Congress, sitting in your representative's office, or you can be in his home office in his district, and making sure that he pays attention to you. Making sure. This is solid shit, okay? It's not conspiracy at all. So, anyway, Occupy the NEAT Act. I probably should get off here. I've been on a little over 30 minutes, and I was glad to talk to you all that got on with me, and I will be coming on every day to keep repeating this until we get a gang of us. We've got a group. It's at the American Monetary Institute, and these are my best friends, and we've become the Banking Monetary Reform Committee of the Green Party of the United States. In fact, the NEAT Act is the monetary platform of the Green Party, and we've got a political organization already put together to be behind this, and to put people up for offices and get them involved. So what we're going to have to do is not only pester our state representatives, our U.S. representatives and senators, but we got to make sure that they know that if they don't listen to us, they're not going to be in Congress. Okay? You know, they don't pay any attention to anything but that. They got to know they're not going to be in Congress. We get this legislation passed, you're going to and get the guaranteed annual income in there, and the free housing and the free transportation. You're going to have the ability to make this thing go. So let's think about it. I'll be back soon, probably tomorrow. And let's do this. And there's my backyard. And see you soon. Bye.